Hello dear students, welcome back to Aja Physics. In this video, we are looking at one concept in quantum mechanics called as quantum entanglement. And at the end of this video, I will tell you how to understand astrology using this quantum entanglement. What if I say particles in physics like electrons, photons, or some other fundamental particles are mysteriously connected with each other irrespective of whatever the distance between them? To understand this quantum entanglement, I will tell you one example. Consider this is Earth and there is an electron on the Earth. Okay, and there is one more electron on the Moon. The distance between this electron and the other electron is very large, which is nothing but the distance between Earth and Moon. If these two particles, these two electrons are quantum mechanically entangled, which means some strange connection or mysterious connection between these two particles, so that just by measuring what is the state of this electron, we can also measure or we can also understand what is the state of other particle which is at very large distance from it. Say for example, here state of the particle means this electron will be having its own properties or characteristics like charge and momentum, spin, in fact energy also. Just by measuring the state of one, we can instantly what you call understand what is the state of other particle which is at a very large distance from it. Here, this type of connection, irrespective of the distance between them, between the particles, is called as entanglement. They are said to be quantum mechanically entangled. In fact, Einstein was famously bothered by this. He called it as spooky action at a distance. Unlike classical mechanics, these particles, okay, which are said to be quantum mechanically entangled, they do not have a definite state. That means this particle or that particle which are at very large distance from each other, they do not have definite spin, they do not have definite energy, momentum, they don't have any particular value. That means this particle, before you measure the state of this particle, will be exist in a superposition state. Okay, this is called as quantum superposition. That means this particle is having all possible values of spin, all possible what you call the state of the particle is there. But once you measure a particular state of this particle, okay, and say for example, if you are measuring the spin of this particle, say for example this electron, you are measuring the spin, you will get the spin of this particle is spin up, and instantly this measurement forces the other particle to respond immediately even at a larger distance between them. It doesn't matter, the response or the force to respond will go instantly, and you will measure the spin of this particle maybe down, spin up and spin down states. So this is how the two particles, even at very large distances, they will interact each other. That means there is some connection or mysterious connection between them. What is so special about this? Maybe these two particles are interacting with each other by sending signals between them. Sending signal means at the maximum one particle can send the signal to other particle at the speed of light. You know that the maximum permissible speed in the universe is nothing but the speed of light. That is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second, and this is what classical physics means. But wait, there is a problem. I said quantum entanglement means a measurement of state of one particle over here instantly influence the state of other particle. Here they are not sending signals. That means they are not interacting with each other by sending signal at the speed of light. There is some kind of other strange or mysterious connection between these two particles, even they are at larger distance. What about this? Let us understand by go deep into quantum mechanics. Here is a key to understand this quantum entanglement phenomenon. You know that there is something called as wave function in quantum mechanics. Wave function is a mathematical function which describes or which is containing every possible information regarding a system or regarding a particle. And these two particles, which are said to be quantum mechanically entangled, they must have same wave function, which means these two particles which are entangled, they must be having the same mathematical description. If once the shared mathematical state is created, it doesn't matter how far they are separated, they are still in the same system. Separating them by miles is stretching a single piece of string to larger distance, so that pulling one end will still affect the other end instantly. You know what causes this entanglement is? The main reason is conservation laws. Conservation laws are very important here. In physics, certain properties like spin, momentum, energy, they must be remain balanced always. Let's understand this conservation laws by taking one simple example. Assume that there is a particle over here and this particle decays and produces two particles out of it. So here these two particles are born out of single event. Now they are mathematically entangled, they are sharing the common wave function. Let us understand why. Now assume that this particle is having spin. Its spin is equal to 0. Even after splitting, okay, these two particles, if you add spin of these two particles, you should get the spin must be also equal to 0. This is what conservation. So before splitting or before something happened, what was the value of spin? That must be same as what is the value of the spin even after something happened. Okay. So for example, if suppose the spin 0 for the parent particle and the first particle is taking spin up and the next particle, it must be having spin down. Okay, irrespective of what is the distance between these two particles at present, it does not matter. If once you measure the spin of the first particle is spin up, the other particle wherever it is, it must be taking the spin down. So this is how they are mathematically coupled. They are entangled because they have a common origin. Means they are born out of single process. This is what actually what you call entanglement means. Now think about our solar system. About 4.5 billions of years ago, there was a massive and swirling cloud of dust and gas, which was called as solar nebula. And something causes this cloud to collapse. Because of this collapse, the most of the material gathered at the center, and gradually after taking some millions of years, it forms sun. Okay, almost 99% of the entire that what you call the solar nebula, and leftover bits of gas and dust, by taking billions of years, they form the planets, moons of the planets, and the asteroids. Now think about this. The entire solar system is formed out of one single event. That is nothing but the collapse of that solar nebula. So there must be some type of entanglement between these planets and the sun. I'm not telling these planets and suns are quantum mechanically entangled, because in quantum physics, in quantum mechanics, the entanglement is described only for smaller particles like electron, photons and something like this. But the same principle or same analogy we can do here also, because the entire solar system is formed out of one single event. There must be some type of entanglement between the planets is possible, and that's what astrology is all about. Astrology, just by standing on the earth and observing the positions of the planets, including sun and moon, and how those positions are going to affect on earth, including what are the different events that are going to happen on earth, and how these planetary positions are changing, are influencing the life of humans and living beings on the earth. Okay. needs more deeper and more fundamental research on what exactly the entanglement between the humans on earth and the earth itself with the other planets in the solar system and the sun as well. Okay, so this is what the summary of this video. We try to connect the quantum entanglement and how it is what you call related to our astrology, and in the future videos we will do more discussions on the same thing about astrology and sciences. Thank you for watching.